Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, the Me, Myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. Game is published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta. We're getting ready to go into the December 1943 turn. I'm going to get my timer up here. Maybe. We will be rolling for weather. There are no special rules in the alternate weather rules that I'm testing for Sal. So we'll just be rolling to see what we get in December here. In the cold zone, it'll either be poor or severe. So we roll a 3, which is poor in the cold zone. And we roll in the mild zone a 6, which is severe. And in the warm zone, we roll a 4, so it's poor. And that takes care of weather. No one's going to be declaring war. Economy. We pull up the national tracks. The Germans got up to 38. British up to 34. Russians are up to 40. That's because of Lend-Lease and the fact that we're not really doing anything to anybody in the strategic warfare. Everybody's in the one box. The Germans are not going to give any points to their allies because they don't see a need to. And they're going to try and recover as many of their airplanes and stuff like that as they can this turn because they really need to kind of get ahead of the curve there. They're starting to fall behind. So that's the economy phase for everybody. We go to strategic warfare. The Germans are at +1. The Russians are at +2. Again, the Germans have 2 subs. Russians have a partisans, but since, like I said, we're in the one box, so it's kind of wasteful to use a submarine here. We'll take our chances with the die rolls. And the partisans, obviously, the Russians want to keep the partisans to try and take something like Kiev. So the Germans roll a 6 +1 is a 7. The Russians roll a 1 +2 is a 3. A 7 to a 3 means the Russians go down 1 on the national tracks here. So the Russian factory loss marker goes up to 2. And then we go over to the west. We start off at the same place, 1 and +2. But then you go up and look here in the in Germany, we have 2 bombed markers, so the west goes up to +4. Obviously, the Germans are going to play their submarines to try and mitigate the disaster that's happening in the bombing campaign. And the Allies, although they do have an ultra marker and it might help them in a combat somewhere, I'm not sure the Allies are going to do much of a combating. I think they're going to rest and recuperate their aircraft in Italy and try and get the British to buy their surprise attack markers, so they're going to go ahead and play their ultra marker. So we get to combat commitment. The Germans throw in their subs. They both commit, and British throw in the ultra. So our die rolls will be halved. So the Germans at +1, well, a 1 +1 is a 2, halved down to a 1. So they're probably going to lose a factory here. The Allies roll also a 1, which +4 is a 5, halved to 2.5, rounds up to 3. And a 1 to 3 on the combat result table is another factory loss. So the Germans lose 1 and join the Russians in the 2 box. And the British stay in the 1 box because you can't go any lower than 1. And then we have to roll to see when they come back. So we will roll the German submarines. 2. Well, that's not too bad. 1, 2. They get them back in February. And the ultra marker will come back in 6 turns. The Allies are loving to roll 6s here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll come back in June. If only we could, get those 6s in rolling combats for the Western Allies. Things would be much better. Okay, that's strategic warfare. Strategic movement. The Germans need to get this off of here. Oh, do I have one for the Germans? I really don't see one that makes any sense. I could save a production point by moving one of these reserve units in the east. Or I could abandon, let's see, it's poor. Is it poor everywhere? Is that what we ended up with? Ah, boy, I can't get up the weather table. No, it's severe in the mild zone, so I don't have to worry about invasions in the mild zone. Okay, Oh boy, howdy. What do we do? Do I need to move somebody up? When you look in the west, I have minimal movement, really. I suppose I could strategically redeploy a unit into Bordeaux and then move this garrison back up to garrison things. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it in the east. And I'm going to go ahead and move this garrison unit here. Now I'm going to move this garrison unit into that spot. Where's my card? Go get my strategic movement marker out. We'll do that. The West, no, they don't have any. And the Soviets, there doesn't seem to be a really good reason to do anything. My airplanes are just kind of behind the curve on the Germans a little bit, so none for the Soviets. We're going to Axis operations phase. The Axis is going to try and hold. It's poor weather. They do have a partisans, so we're going to have to try and hold here. Can't move the first. But this is my thought. I don't know if this is the right thing to do. But I'm going to move this guy here. That's 2, 3. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 4. I should highlight these guys. 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4. That gives me kind of a line. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So there's 2 more. I'm going to move this infantry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Another one. I think I want to go 7. Here. Sorry. I'm going to try and hold in the north, in the bad terrain. Trying to save myself production points, so I've activated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this guy here, 7. So I started at 38, I'm now at 31. I'm in about as good a position as I can be in Italy. You know, it's -1 attacking across the rivers, and they don't have what do you call it? They don't have surprise attack marker, so I'm not too worried there. They don't have surprise attacks, so they can't invade, so I don't need to move a lot here. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate this one for 1. He's going to go 1, 2, and assault the Americans. And then 2 for this one. Where is it? And 2 for this one. 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 more. I should be down to 26. Oh, forgot to take the bound markers off. They have to run their airplanes to get more bound markers. I can't just give them those. Basically, the Americans do not have an airplane in range, so this is why the Germans can be this armor here, not going across the river. If he's the primary, he'd be 3, plus 2 for an armor is 4, 5, plus 1 for an infantry is 6, minus 1 for the weather is a plus 5 to the American 2. So hopefully I get a retreat out of that. I think I'll go ahead and do that. That might change what I do as far as other moves, but I don't think I have a lot of other moves to do. I'm thinking of possibly doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably doing some shifty stuff to get some garrisons down here in Le Havre. Yeah, I think we're going to go. Let's resolve this. So the German in hex 30, let's zoom in so you can see this better. The German in 3111 is plus 2 because he's German, plus 1 because he's armor. He adds 1 for an infantry and then 2 for an armor added into an assault. So that should be a total plus 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. The Americans are 1 because they're American and 1 because they're armor. And I have to subtract 1 from the attacker for poor weather. So, yay. Kind of, sort of, maybe. And then we push. We roll dice. Plus 5 to plus 2. The Americans need to get an aircraft up here. Plus 5 to plus 2. The Germans roll a 2. Plus 5 is a 7. The Americans roll a 1. Plus 2 is a 3. 7 to a 3 is a DR. So the Americans are retreated back into Nantes. The Germans will take it with the Panzer to the south. Reason being is he still has a retreat route to 3311 if he should assault me back. And it might free up this infantry unit to run back to Le Havre and garrison that. So we're trying to set up halfway decent garrisoning things. I have 26 left. I have at least 15 in airplanes. 15, 16, 17. So I've got 1, 2, 3 infantry that are down right now. So that's 3. And 15, which would be 18. And then to build, I have 6. That would be 24. Technically, I have 2 points left if I want to move something. I'm not sure I really want to abandon Marseille. But if I move this guy out of Marseille, then maybe I can rail next turn a garrison unit down south, which might be the thing to do. And that would leave me an extra 1 for step losses. I think we're going to have to abandon southern France. Well, I would be able to rail a garrison unit in there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move this guy here. We're going to spend 1 more. And we're going to stop at 25 so that I can rebuild all my stuff. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just south of France. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop there. It's just close by Paris, and then he could actually end up running up to, say, Rotterdam and have Rotterdam garrison strategically redeploying to Marseille. The other thing I could do, I could just go ahead and be in Bordeaux, which would make him have to fight for the... It's not like he probably can't take some of these, but if I make him at least attack or take the time to isolate me and it takes a couple turns to give him those ports, that's kind of my thing here. I'm trying to slow him down. Much the way the Russians were just like delay, delay, delay. That's what the Germans are at right now. They have to slow down the Americans and the British. Not give them good positions to launch major assaults in 1944 summer. I think I said I needed a minimum of 24, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Probably a bad thing to do, but if I have to, I won't build a couple of garrisons if I have to take back steps. Yeah. So I think that's just about it for German operations. Let's go check in the east one more time, make sure I didn't forget anything. Rains are still here as a stopgap. The reason why I abandoned Odessa is that if he attacks the 15th Infantry, he can retreat into Odessa. So that gives him a good defensive position if he has to do that. Oh, that was the other one I needed to do. I'm going to take this one back. This is not the one I'm going to do. We're not going to move that garrison. We're going to move this garrison in Kiev. Because I want to be able to retreat. And where's my... We can go far enough. This garrison in Kiev is actually going to move to there. That's a more important defensive hex here in the south. And that lets the 20th retreat into Kiev. And the 4th Panzer stops any running by if he somehow DEs the 20th. So, yeah, that's where we're going to be. One more check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, so I should be at 24. And I'm at 24. And, I was going to move a Hungarian. That's what I was going to do. Do I need to move a Hungarian this turn? I think I want to rebuild the Hungarian infantry to full strength. So I'm not going to move a Hungarian either. Yep, that's it. The Germans... that is the German phase there. About 2/3 through my space. I'm going to make this a short video for the Germans. Because it's poor weather, I see some things I might need to do for the British. It might go faster than I think. But better to have 3 short videos than one ridiculously long one if I suddenly get caught into something. So, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. That was December 1943, German operations and beginning of turn phase things. And we will move on to the Western Allies phase when we return. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.